Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you recommended me on mod.io. And for today we are looking at another gigantic hauler, and this one, hopefully I'm going to say this correctly, it's called the Voidrbilt 4500 Space Hauler, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a gigantic hydrogen-powered ship that features a massive trailer at the back for you to store a large array of vehicles inside, or even a bunch of cargo containers. But you want to make sure that they are clamped down with magnetic plates or landing legs to then wander around as you were to drive this thing through space. And yes, if you are interested, there will be a link to Skybox in the description below. I found this in the depths of the Steam workshop and does look rather different. But anyway, before we go any further, what I'm going to do is grab my character, come around towards the very back of this vehicle. It's got a very fancy opening sequence, which I've never seen on any other vehicle. So around towards the very back of our trailer, this is what we get. We've got a couple of funny LCD screens where we can come up with this one that says, "How's my driving?" All the way down to this one, it then says, "I rapidly decelerate for nobody." And then over there, we've got the quantum mechanics is my co-pilot. Anyway, this is our doorway. We've got a bunch of hinges set up and ready to go. We've got connectors to lock it in place. Then down here, we've got ourselves a button panel with a few things set up. The one we're interested here is this button right there. We can press that, move away. That's going to start up the opening sequence. But after a short delay, the whole system's going to pull backwards, then proceed to open up. There we go, it's now going to move back away from the vehicle. It's going to open up its teeth. Then we just keep opening and opening and opening until we can clearly see all the way inside our trailer. There it is. Now we can easily fly stuff in and out. We can easily drive stuff in and out. And yes, like I said, we can store in a bunch of vehicles in here if that's what you want to do. Coming all the way down onto the ground and then just closing it up right behind me. All the way down, make sure I don't float away because there's no gravity in here. Pressing that. And we should now hopefully close up. I hit the right button. That was to close, yep. So after a short delay, I'll start to close up. So standing here and waiting for it to close. There it goes right there. And it will take a bit of time to actually fully close up. Yes, on each section of the door, we've got two hinges, two at the bottom, two at the top. We then got some columns in between them. We've got landing legs on the top and the bottom as well. So once it fully closes up, we then lock them in place to make sure this door is securely closed so it won't rattle around, it won't randomly open up, or stay firmly closed until you want to open it up. With the rest of this thing, this is all we get: a dark, ominous, giant container for you to stand in. Maybe even build a little base inside here. You could easily do that because it is a large block grid. Throw down some assemblers, throw down some refineries, put a medical bay in here if that's what you do, and have it as a mobile base. Just drag it to your location, drag it down to a planet, and we'll go pick it up later on. Anyway, enough of that. What I'm going to do is now grab hold free character. My character could just stay in the back there. But I'm going to come like so, press F10, find it in spawn menu, there it is. This thing is 3006 large blocks using pretty much all the DLC packs. We see a large bit of information about it which you're not going to read, but you can easily pause it and read it through yourself. That's what we want to do. Just scroll down a little bit, there's the next bit, and then down to the bottom there's our controls, everything we need to know. Anyway, we'll go give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, then have a quick tour of the interior. The interior is going to be this front section right here, which is fairly big and, well, very well detailed for what it is. I originally thought that most of this front section right here is going to be basically just a hodgepodge of everything this needs to actually, well, fly around and be functional, but no, it's been fully hollowed out, plenty of places for you to get inside. That hangar bay down there is where we can store in a few personal vehicles if that's what we want to do, have a small fighter deploy down there, have a small transport ship for you to fly over to a nearby station, and just have the general riffraff of general transport goods in the back. Yes, we'll come at that a bit later. Then we'll go drive around for a bit and maybe slam it into an asteroid to finish it off. Anyway, for the very front of the 4500 Space Hauler, the Voidrbilt, hopefully I'm saying that correctly once again, this is what we get. So we've got is a bunch of lovely heat vents to light up as we're to drive this thing around, with 4 spotlights to light up the area in front of us. Coming all the way down to here, we've got a bit of renewable power in form of our fancy solar panels, just built around some blue steel blocks. Moving up slightly over to here, we've then got a hood ornament, which is like a small little alien bird that's been projected onto the front. Then over to here, the place where we will be driving this thing around from. Well, we can see a jukebox for a bit of music, we've got a couple of chairs to, well, drive this backwards so we can easily reverse this thing up and put it into its parking spot. Then up there, a couple more spotlights, a bunch of hydrogen thrusters, and these are our main hydrogen thrusters drive it around because there is nothing attached to the back of the trailer, so we can detach it, leave it where it is, and just drive this front section. That's what we want to do. Anyway, put it away from there, round onto the sides, here we go. So we see our hangar bay, what we just talked about, where we store a few personal vehicles inside if that's what you want. We've then got our hydrogen tanks here, we've got our industrial and then a standard attached onto the back of it to connect up to all of your thrusters to make sure you can fly this thing for a nice long time. up to here's a little catwalk that leads across our doorway, which is our primary way in and out. This is going to be a very quick way to get up into the cockpit, or down to a junction, and eventually down to the bottom here, or to another section that we'll see later on. Pretty way moving across, there we go, we've got a side connector to dock this thing up. There's our thruster pod down the bottom, so we've got plenty of speed from this thing. Over into this part, connecting our front to the trailer, we've got a bunch of connectors, so if one gets damaged in combat, one gets destroyed in combat, you're not going to accidentally leave your trailer behind and potentially get damaged by a pesky drone. We're panning all the way through all of our connectors. There's a few doorways so we can access the back of here from the front of the ship. And all the way across into this section, there's our projector, which is currently projecting our letterbox on the side of the trailer, and a couple action relays, which I'm not too sure why they're there. I'm pretty sure they are something important. Looking all the way up and around. And there we are. Pulling all the way back, moving across onto the trailer. Here we go, so we've got Clang written across in some lovely red projected steel blocks, spelled with a C. Now, I'm not too happy with that, because I prefer the spelling with a K, but that's my personal opinion, and it seems like it's a very divided topic. And we've got a bunch of red inset light blocks going along the bottom of the trailer, then we've got some yellowy orange ones going along the top. Then we can see a bunch of landing legs for you to clamp this down onto the station, onto a planet, if that's what we want to do. Eventually we'll come all the way around towards the back, which we saw at the very start, which features our doorway that will open up to allow your vehicles to go inside. And just putting the camera all the way through once again, because this is the last time we're actually going to see this section. Then putting on my lights, and there we are, we can fit one hell of a lot of stuff inside here. And I suppose if I want to, I could come in here, find the Dex fighter, there it is, copy and paste that. And there is a very small fighter, we now just leave it in there. And there we are, let's put the Wanderer away. And compared to the character, flying all the way up to it, there we are, so yes, we can fit one hell of a lot of vehicles inside here. And well, do make sure they are clamped down onto the ground, or they will cause a bit of damage. So that can now just float away in there, because that's the last we're going to see of this section. And we're now going to come across and move all the way up and look down at it. There we go. So not much to talk about on the trailer itself. We see the side of our inset light blocks. We just about make out our projected red blocks on the other side. So we come all the way across over to our front section. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So we then got two exhaust ports shooting out some rather greenish looking smoke that can't be too healthy to actually breathe in, and you will be breathing this in because we will be able to walk around on the top there to access those auction farms. Moving a bit closer over to one of these hydrogen thruster pods, here we go. So we've got a bunch of small ones in all directions, we've got a large one forward and backwards, then we've got a spotlight and a top there just to give a red ominous glow, with a second one right down there. Over in this part, there's your ladder to come all the way up to the main body. We can access this part with ease, a doorway on the left and right hand side. There's also a similar doorway below this section. We can access the inside of those hydrogen thrusters to repair it in safety. All the way across our auction farms that have been faded across with some ladders to be able to walk all the way up. And across this front section where we've got a compact antenna, compact beacon, and a fake antenna made out of a truss block that goes all the way up to a decoy, just to act as a bit of decoration. Anyway, at the very front there's our spotlight, there's our laser antenna, and all the way down underneath it, past our hood ornament, and here we are at the very bottom. So what we've got is a bunch of dark grey steel blocks, but then some hazard going all around the outside of this section. Moving all the way across with my light turned on, we see the bottom of our hydrogen tanks, there's the bottom of our bottom hydrogen thruster pods, down to here's a smaller walkway, which is like what I said at the very top of the vehicle. We can go inside a doorway that allows inside access to those hydrogen thrusters to repair it up in safety. Anyway, moving all the way across, there's the bottom part connected to our trailer. On the bottom of the trailer, that's all we can see, so a bunch of landing legs, then our corrugated white steel blocks. Now come all the way across towards the very back there. There we go. And then got this little strip of white and red squares being projected from an LCD screen. Up to there's a bunch of inset light blocks once again in a red colouring, and we can make this blink, so if you were reversing this thing up, or say there's a lot of traffic behind you, you can make sure everybody knows that you've got a heavy load with you, and to be careful as you're driving around. Up to here we already just saw. Now that's basically it for the outside of the 4500 Space Hauler. And it looks bloody fantastic on the outside, a lot going on with it, and you can get a lot of fun out of this in survival mode if you spawn this in from the start, and use this as a roaming base for your adventure, and see how far you can get, well before drones come and blow it up, because you've got no guns on this, unless of course you were to attach them on there yourself, that's entirely up to you. But with that, my character can now hop out the back there, and it's time for us to come inside. So we've got quite a lot to go through on the inside here, it's going to all loop around together to that central room section. So what we're going to start with is all the way at this doorway. This is our primary way in and out. So dropping down, opening this up, there's a little camera so you can make sure who's coming in and out. On the inside here, the door will close up automatically. Now we've got two ways to go. That'll lead us to the main interior. The way will take us to a small little stowage, so walking through here, then come into this section, where we've then got our little packages in there. Let's not talk about them anymore. Then we come through this side to the opposite side, and there is the outside. both the doorways on that side and this side will lead to the exact same place. So into here, and all the way up, all the way down, and there is that doorway. Yes, where do we want to go through here? So we won't go through here just yet. We're going to come all the way up. We're going to ignore this section because this is our main cockpit to drive it around. What we're going to do is come through this doorway and head all the way up. So opening up this, and then walking all the way through. Here we go. We've got our main engineering section right here. We've got more ways to go down, but once again, we're going to ignore that for now. We're going to walk past all these batteries, all these reactors, all these oxygen tanks, and all of that, all of our event controllers, and just jetpack all the way up. This is going to take us to the very top here, where we have that very lovely green smoke being ejected out those exhaust logs that are being conveyed all the way up to, well, the main body. And this is what we get. So we get a good view all day around us. Got doorways on the left and right hand side. So poking my head through this doorway, here we go. So we've got our conveyors, we can jetpack all the way up, access the back of those hydrogen thrusters, repair them up if we need to, then all the way back down, ignoring that door because it is identical. We can now come through a few different sections, drop down to there, and we'll emergency disconnect them if that's what we want to do, or walk all the way up this section, come up past our auction farms, repair this up if it ever took damage, maybe attach a few guns on there, because you could always do that if that's what we want to do, because it is a clear spot for you to attach stuff onto it up here, because there's nothing else going on, no obstructions in the way of the turrets, so there is that. We walk past this part, past the truss, all the way down, and there's our beacons, here's our laser antenna, all the way down above the area where we're going to be sitting, and there's our hood ornament at the front, walking all the way up to it. And there we are. So from here we now can drop all the way down, back to where we just were on this section. Here we go, opening up this, all the way through. And now we can come through this section, up and through, and then straight down. So opening up this, here we are once again, walking down these steps, past our reactors, past our batteries, past our large cargo containers, all the way down to here. And then we've got a doorway that heads out and back to our trailer. So there's all of our connectors, there's our relays, there's our projector, and then there's a very ominous catwalk that takes us to the opposite door to the other side of that room. So yes, we can get a good view of what's going on here, and opening up this one, into here, and here we are once again. So we've got a way to go down there, but we won't go there just yet. We want to come past all of these gyroscopes, and then below these reactors once again, till we get over to this part, which is right next to a remote control block. We've got an internal cockpit, so if the front ever took damage in combat, we can always retreat back to this one, and then drive it around. In here, we will not have the same controls, and we will not be able to view outside from the first person view, but we do have a camera, we can see where we're going with this thing, and we'll just hopefully drive it around in one piece and escape from any enemies that blew up the front of the ship. As for the rest of the controls on here, we think our thrusters, turn them all on, turn them all off. That's all there is for that seat. And with that, we now need to come down these steps, or ladders even, all the way down to the bottom, and here we are below the ship. So we see the bottom of our trailers, we see our thrusters over there, once again doorways which are very similar to the ones at the top. We can open up this, all the way down a very steep ramp, and here we are once again with the back of our hydrogen thrusters, our conveyors, and all that to repair up. Anyway, jetpacking all the way up, opening that doorway, landing myself down. Where do we go from here? I suppose what we will do is now come all the way over to the side of this thing, then work our way all the way back up, because this is the last place where we need to go for the cockpit. So opening up this hangar bay, and here we are. So we've got a bunch of freight crates, we've got a bunch of cargo crates lying in the room here. We can store in maybe one or two good ships inside here, a mining ship, or a personal fighter, a personal transport, that's what you want. Stepping through here, hitting the button. Now just close up right behind me, if I can find the aiming reticle, there it is. There we are, misclicked. And yes, we can use this for personal vehicles, then use the back for your transport goods, or even a small base, which we'll talk about at the very start of the video. From here, where do we go? So we've got this little section right here, using these very, very tiny doorways. So opening up this, through here, a very, very tight corridor. We're going to open up this, and then into here we've got some windows, we can view what's going on. Then we've got large ladders, going to come all the way up, and they'll take us to our small little living quarters. So we can see some shelves lining the room, we've got a jukebox, fish block, there's our full-on medical bay, a way to go all the way up, and that's the area that we saw at the very start where we entered the vehicle. Over to here's a shower and toilet, so here's our shower, here's our toilet, into this part's a little bump panel, nothing set up, so you can set stuff on there if you want to do that. Then over to here is your jukebox, we can press play on that, play some funky music, there we go, couldn't stop that because I'm not too sure the copyright behind it. And then there's our kitchen block, there's our counter block, onto the opposite side, we've got a vending machine, planter, locker, entertainment center, a button to control the entertainment center so we can turn that on, and now have advertisements being displayed with a bit of music. We're going to turn it off once again. There we go. Then onto that side we now grab a drink, go and sit down on this chair, and view the advertisements. Anyway, as for this room, all we've got is two more doorways to go through past this lovely little fish block. There we are. Yes, he's going to be identical on both sides. Walking through here, here's your bed, here's some buttons to control the lights, turn them on, turn them off. Then in this part, we've got another little stowage where we're just going to ignore that once again. And that's about it. I don't know why, I've already been through this section before I started recording, but I instantly thought that was a doorway and tried to open it up. Anyway, yes, this is your little bedroom, and you saw a few bits and bobs in there. Anyway, coming back through here, onto the opposite side, very quickly showing off this. Here we are. And there we are once again, turning on the lights, turning them off. And with that, the only place left to go is now up these steps, past this gravity generator, all the way up and around. And there's our doorway that we came in first of all, when we first enter this front section. Then all the way up to here, here we go, here's our helm, with our jukebox. Once again, we can press play and play a little bit of music. There we go, turning it off once again. That's for the rest of the room, we've got air vents there. There's a doorway that we went through into that rear engineering section. And then we've got a little seat around here so we can do our work on here, view outside the window at the weird skybox. And then we've got this helm right here. So entering the helm, what this is, in contrary to the actual front cockpit, is a way to reverse this thing up so we don't have to fiddle with the camera, and we can do it from first person view if you stay playing it in a world where the third person camera is fully disabled. So we've got 5 and we've got 6. So 6 is going to be on top of your trailer, and number 5 is going to be on the rear of the main body, facing that projector, which, well, when we disconnect the trailer, is going to be very handy to actually dock it back up. Anyway, hopping out of that, and of course moving it backwards, there we go. Now, forwards is backwards, and backwards and forwards, and all of that. Hopping out of that and turning towards the front here, we've then got a bump panel, and a slight bit of lag, so I'm presuming the Dex fighter is slamming into stuff, so just hiding all the signals there. Here we go. So what we've got on this bump panel is our hazards, which is going to be for the lights at the very back of the ship, so activating that, bring the free camera all the way around towards the very back of this thing. Here we go. And there we are, we've got our hazards flashing, and of course it's going to be all the same on the side there. Back into the cockpit, pressing number 2, that's going to turn it off. And number 3 is going to be your auxiliary lights on and off, and there is that. So finally, the only thing left to do is get into the cockpit, drive it around, then after a while we're going to disconnect that trailer, and we'll just leave it all abandoned. So yes, for our controls, number 1, number 2 is going to be your hydrogen thrusters, where number 1 is going to be to turn off your small thrusters, and then number 2 is going to turn off your large thrusters, so you've got a bit of customization on how much hydrogen you want to use, and how much speed you want to have behind the vehicle. Number 3 is then for your spotlights at the front, turn them on and off, there we go. Number 4 is then for your sound block to activate, where we get a big old alarm. Number 5, number 6 is once again for your hazards, so zooming all the way away as far as I can actually go with this camera. Very, very difficult to actually zoom away with this thing. So pressing number 5, they're going to start flashing. Pressing number 6, they then go to a steady light. Number 7 is then for remote control over this entire vehicle, but we will not have the same controls as the main cockpit. We've got simple controls, which is simply your cameras to view forwards and backwards. And of course we've got another ones on the left and right hand side. Nothing else on the other tabs, so hopping out of that, and pressing number 9, that's for your gyroscopes to lock them. And that's it for the controls. And with that, that's it for the outside, that's it for the controls. Time to fly this thing around and see how it handles, and see what kind of damage the Dex fighter can cause in the back trailer. So, reading on the camera, here we go, and put myself into a lovely cinematic view. Moving forwards, here we go, and this is what we get. So we're going bloody fast thanks to all of our hydrogen thrusters, and we seem to be exceeding the speed limit, which I did not know was a thing with the Skybox, because it was not mentioned on the Steam Workshop page. But there we are, we're now going up and up and up, although it looks like we have stopped at 274.86 meters per second, which is very odd that that has happened. Usually ships keep accelerating to the hit maximum speed, which I presume would be about 400 meters per second, not too sure, but there we are with that. Anyway, letting go of the speeds, coming to a stop, got once again some bloody good speed because we've got the same thrust distribution, forwards and backwards, and letting that come to a stop, and there we go, moving left, move right. Well, comparison to forwards and backwards, we are bloody slow with that because we've got more hydrogen thrusters to actually help us out. Moving down is going to be the same as that, there we go, moving up as well. And there we are, so if you take yourself down to a planet, you will want to tilt yourself all the way back like so, and make sure you're using those large hydrogen thrusters, assisted by those small hydrogen thrusters, make sure you're not going to slam into the ground. Might be a good idea to attach some parachutes onto the back trailer, that's what we want to do, send it all the way down to a planet, and then go pick it up later. And then yes, as for gyroscope controls, this thing is bloody heavy, that's to be expected from this size of vehicle. And well, you don't want it to be too floaty, just in case stuff is rattling around in the back there, could cause a lot of damage to the trailer itself, or the other stuff being stored inside. And with that, all we've got to do now is just slam this into an asteroid. I suppose what I could do now, we just make a copy of this. There we go. Now just come all the way around towards this helm, disconnect them. Now hopefully, yes, hopefully we can just move this thing away. Looks like it is very magnetic on the back there. We've now escaped the trailer, back in the front cockpit. And here we go, once again, we're driving this thing around. And that's what it looks like. It looks very odd without its trailer. So you could attach anything you want onto the back of this thing. Say you want to have a bunch of hydrogen tanks and haul them across the galaxy. That's entirely up to you. And suppose instead of slamming into an asteroid, what I will do is slam straight into the trailer, see what kind of damage I can cause. I do love how we can see the, well, projected clang on the side there from this distance. So here we go to finish off this video. I'm going to hide the HUD, and hopefully that is all properly lined up. We're going to slam straight into the trailer, and that'll be that for this video. So in 3, 2, 1, straight into the bank. And there we go, that was a massive clonk. And it looks like we have absolutely annihilated the front of that thing, absolutely annihilated the back of the trailer. Having a look a bit more at the damage done to this thing. And well, we can just about salvage this if you want to do that. We've got the back of this section. In here we've got our engineering bay. Seems to be roughly in one piece. We lost a bunch of our hydrogen tanks. We've still got a bunch of reactors, a bunch of batteries, a bunch of time blocks or event controllers. Our ocean tanks are also in one piece. So you could turn this into a little base if that's what you want to do. But yes, as it stands, this vehicle is a fantastic little vehicle to use in your world. If you want to have a slightly alternative style to survival mode, just spawn this in and use it as a mobile base. Do what I said at the start of the video, build your base inside the trailer, and we'll just go exploring the universe. Maybe have some modular system encounter mods to spice stuff up. But as for that, it's a fantastic looking ship. There'll be a link to it in the description below to just download and pirate it yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.